subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to go with a little Q&A, and we'll go over everything we just talked about. I'll answer all the questions of my abilities, and we'll go from there. But if you got to take off, take off. Thanks so much for sticking by, and go from that. Oh, yeah. Tito says, how to migrate your render ERC20 to Solana. Thanks. Should be that's right. It actually did move over to Solana. Depends on, I guess, where you stored where your render is actually stored at. If it's in the exchange, it should have been swapped 1-for-1. Should have been. Kaiba says, best move for SOL holders is to cash out before November election deadline. Super Tuesday? Then thereafter, anything will all be good if they get exposed to fund their DNC campaigns, monitor, and watch. Could be true. I will tell you this. The presidential election this year is going to be wild. And mark my words, we're going to see a lot of AI-generated deep fake videos come out. I can feel it already. Oh, yeah. John says Akash is now on Coinbase, as well as other non-ADA tokens. This is true. I think they just started yesterday, as a matter of fact. Wow, I guess not. Exchanges are not swapping your render. Why are you supposed to swap them then? That seems kind of odd. You'd think they would do that for their customers. But I guess not. Thanks, Kaiba. Akash equals AKT. That's right. Yes. All this is fake. All this, especially out there. Just a nice green screen. Master Blaster. This seems like the enemy of the people and only answers the big banks. Yeah, I guess. It's kind of hard to say who's the most evil people that are out there, or if they're just blinded to the mission that they're trying to do. I don't know. I just know that the facts is that they seem to be, and actually they got caught in a lie just yesterday, or actually a couple of days ago, and the story broke. And again, they're going to be sanctioned, whatever that means. If I know they're going to have to pay the legal fees for the defendant that they brought to court. And it's just a travesty. I don't think that's what government agencies should do. They're essentially suppressing the people in the U.S. Rusty Bot. Rob, does Tangent have a security sticker on the package? I just wrote on your page. Can't wait to get it. Should have stickers. Some people have said that they had issues when it actually arrived, so the stickers were broken. I talked to Tangent. They said that could be because of customs. They're actually looking through things. But just remember that when you get the actual cards, you have to set it all up and go through the whole process. So it'd almost be like, remember the days when there was a ledger hack. People would buy ledgers on eBay and they would start loading it up. And then like within a week or two, all their crypto was gone. It was because people had already taken that ledger. They already set it up. They already had the private keys and the mnemonic phrases set to go. And they sold on eBay. People didn't reset everything, because you can reset a ledger. You can just wipe everything out and then get a whole new private key and whole new seed phrases. And they didn't do that, and they lost everything. Same thing with a Tangent. If you get it or something like that, there's two options. You can do 3 cards, or you can do with the seed phrase. Up to you. So yeah. Do you dislike Grayscale? I hate them officially. I don't dislike or hate most anything. There's a lot of outflow, and it's because they refuse to drop their prices, their fees at 1.5%. I mean, it is what it is. And of course, there's outflows. The whole thing to me is when I take a look at the ETF inflow outflows is that we're more inflows than out. I think we're right now at 12 billion, correct me in the comments, of inflows. And that's all really I care about. If there was just massive outflows from everybody, well, first of all, you can't do that. You have to actually buy some and then just have massive outflows. If there's massive outflows from Grayscale and there was no inflows, I'd be like, we've got a problem. But that's not the case. We're actually positive. Yeah, Revy says it right. There's a lot of peeps that are 100% in profit. So naturally they're taking, naturally they're taking profits. I know like people will say, well, this time it's different. And it is different in a way. I mean, we hit an all-time high before the halving. That's never happened before. But human emotions don't change. People look at the prices and go, you know what? This is a great time to sell. I'm going to sell. I need to take profits. And of course, there's always going to be the individuals who say you should never sell and there's no reason to sell. And that could be true, but you have to understand that not everybody agrees with that and they will sell and that's it. And some people will look at that and say, suckers, I'm just going to keep buying. Might work out for you. So yeah, it's whatever you want to do. That's why no one can give you advice about what to do, because it's your funds and it's your investment thesis of what you think is best for you and your family. Yeah. Oh, Meme says, today Fidelity hosted a covering crypto live stream. Interesting. But now I thought this was possible years ago. Probably not. That's great. Yeah, selling is incentivized by the high fees. Why do you want to pay those fees? I'm not going to pay 1.5 when I can get over here at Fidelity 0.25 or no fees until July or August, which a couple of institutions are offering. Doug says, I'm confused. Why does Grayscale not decrease the fees? Not like a small fee would bankrupt them. Well, you have to understand that some of those, like there was some that were through FTX and they actually had to sell to get out because they had to pay back their creditors. And there was other organizations that had to sell to pay back their creditors. And some people just said, well, we got to get out, and for whatever reason. So for those fees, I can't really tell you one way or the other, but I did hear Barry Seibert say that they have a plan to drop the fees later. And maybe there's something going on behind the scenes, because remember, Barry Seibert and their subsidiaries were involved with Genesis and also involved with Gemini. And there was some types of shenanigans that they had to pay for things. So maybe there's a reason why they're letting everything go. Not for sure. Yeah, Emu Cell says the only reason to stay in Grayscale is because of capital gains. Yeah, no one wants to pay short-term capital gains, right? They want to get out. Rob, the stream holding any whiff? I have a small bag of whiff just for the heck of it. I did that just to do some test transactions, just to see. I was testing out Orca and Jupiter, which we just had a meeting with the team from Jupiter today. Good guys. It's going to be very good. We're talking to them about some things. And yeah. And I'll tell you why later. Whatever happened to Voyager? Voyager got 86th because they did something very stupid. Voyager, like all the unnatural exuberance, well, maybe natural, in the bull market, thought they were untouchable. Just like SBF and just like Celsius and just like BlockFi and everything else. They got over their skis, and what they did was Voyager specific, they gave an uncollateralized loan of $640 million to Three Arrows Capital. And because of that uncollateralized loan, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of somebody doing, I mean, if you're going to give your friend $20 because he needs it, it's not like you're going to say, give me some collateral, give me that rice cake or whatever. That's okay. But $640 million, you might want to ask for some collateral, just saying. And they didn't, and then Three Arrows Capital went belly up, and then Voyager got screwed over. But they got screwed over because of their incompetence. Let's just call a spade a spade. And that's essentially what happened with Voyager. And when I found out about that, because they're a publicly traded company, I put that out 2 weeks before it collapsed. I said, look, you can use Voyager, but you got to take everything off, just how it is. And there's a link in the description. It has a Voyager Celsius timeline. I didn't hit Celsius fast enough. The day that it collapsed is when I pretty much figured it out, because I heard some things over consensus. But the Voyager thing, I gave everybody 2 weeks. People will say it's not enough time. I'll tell you, it sucks. And I didn't even take my own advice. I still left some crypto on there because I'm like, yeah, maybe it won't. So I lost some. And who's to blame for that? Me. I lost it, and I'll take the hit on that one. And exactly, trust me, bro. That's the collateral. Oh wow, I had 40K in Celsius. Took out 1 week for a collapse. Talk about timing. Shoo. How do you add Solana to the Coinbase wallet? I'm not for sure. I don't have the Coinbase wallet. I'm sure there's, if you Google it, there's tons of videos out there that will show you how to do it. But I keep my Solana on Tangem, and that's it. I buy it on Coinbase, move it to Tangem. Very fast, very cheap too. Yeah. Ryan says the reason why Grayscale is selling Bitcoin because they pay $6 billion of fines the SEC. That's right. Got to pay the piper. Jupiter is awesome. Works even better than Uniswap did on launch or Sunday Swap, both of which I used upon launch. Yeah. Uniswap's got, one of the big things of a problem that Uniswap is, and somebody sent me a message yesterday and they said, hey, because I was talking about Aether, Aethir, which is a deep-in AI play that just got done with their node sale. And they haven't launched the token, but apparently he was able to find the token on Uniswap because he just typed it in, Aethir, and lo and behold, it was there. And he paid $200 and then it never came. And he's like, where did it happen? Where'd it go? Well, apparently, and this happens a lot actually, on Uniswap, they just create fake tokens on that thing all the time. And if you search for it without using the smart contract address as the search, which is what you should always do, then it'll come up. Like you can put in Pepe coin right now and you'll get like 10 Pepes. Which one's the right one? You got to get the contract address. Where do you get the contract address? I'll show you. So my favorite place to do all that is CoinGecko. So let's take, where is it? Pepe. See right here, contract. You take this and copy it. And when you search for the token, you put in the contract address, not the name of the token, because the name of the token come up like 20 different ones. But the contract address, there's only one of those. And thankfully, thank God, he only lost $200. But it could have been worse. So just be careful out there. What's the rules? Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. It's all a scam. 100% scams. That's good. Ones are safe food, trust me. Arnox says, yeah, had 120,000 Voyager, and so far I've gotten about 43 back, which is pretty good. 40, yeah, but 35%. Was wondering if we were going to get more back. That all depends on the lawsuits against with FTX and with Three Arrows Capital if they're able to get some of their funds back. So if they get funds back, then we get funds back. I'm right there with you. So if that happens, yes, but it's going to be a long process. So don't expect that anytime soon, that's for sure. Yeah, what a crappy, like it's one thing to invest in a project and just see it just go this and then, go down and drop 70, 80, 90%. It's another thing to just have the platform that you're supposed to trust totally get wiped out. It's awful because it's not like something you did. It's not like something like it was just the stupidity and arrogance of the exchange itself. Look no farther than Alex Mashinsky. And of course, well, I can say one thing. Thank God we all learned the lesson, because now are any of us going to go to an exchange and go, I want to keep everything here? Are any of us going to go for some kind of protocol and ask for a loan on Bitcoin? Are any of us going to put it into something to get massive 20, 30% yield moving forward? I don't think any of us will do that. I know there's these new programs that are coming out. Shapeshift, I think, was one of them, where they're talking about they're going to do loans with Bitcoin. And I said, I put a comment. I'm like, good luck with that. I'll never do it. Like, oh, you should read our article. I'm like, nope. I don't care how airtight you guys say it's going to be. Something will always screw up. Never do that again. I think I'll be happy for that. Not your keys. That's right. Rez says, my amp was down 90% since last cycle. Now I'm only down 70%. See? Improvements. This is why I diversify the investments, because you never know where it's going to go. Hey, crypto golfer. Bitcoin's back above 65.5. Nice. Yeah. Where dogs thrive. I remember when you interviewed him. I watched the light of all. I had a lot of liars on. Give them a platform. Both of those jerks. Alex Mashinsky, had him on at least three times. Steve Ehrlich on. But see, the thing about this is that they all worked until they didn't. And that's why, like, I'm always harping on the take profit aspect of it. Because if we all would have done that and taken profits, it wouldn't have been near as disastrous, I think. Because you're like, well, okay, I lost a little bit, but I mean, I made X amount. And that's the bigger thing. And it's a funny thing because, like, I mean, just last week, wasn't everybody telling us? I was like, I don't think that's true. But everybody's like, look, bro, it's totally different now. ETFs are here. It's going to keep going up. Maybe some slight pullbacks, but, 70K is just the beginning, and up we go because ETFs and institutions and ETFs and Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy and ETFs. No one's going to sell. Like, I don't think that's true. Human behavior never changes. So remember that. Next time you get over exuberance, even I fall on that sometimes too. Oleg says, why are the markets running out of the Fed talk? It's not like he cut anything. No, but I think the tone of his speech was quite dovish. And I think he made some positive comments on inflation and job markets and other things. So people are like, oh, great. And they just aped into some equities. Probably got excited about crypto too. It's a good question. Do you think ETH will hit 10K this cycle? So I have this prediction. And Ethereum will be, and I'm 99% sure, it's going to be between $5 and $50,000 in 2024. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit that range. Somewhere in between there. Don't quote me. But yeah, that's my price prediction. 20K. Well, I can see that. $1 to 20,000 in 2024. Sure. Yeah. I saw that. Wow. Because you know me. Ephraim, how are you doing, buddy? Thank you, Doug. Finally, someone realizes the genius that is my price predictions. Someone's got a good question. Is Polkadot still a thing? Some of these, if you've noticed, correct me here, but if you look at like the top 100 of cryptos, do you ever just look at some of these products and like, why is that even around still? Why does that even have a market cap? It's like everybody just forgot about it and no one's moving their money. Or maybe they just lost it. Maybe they just lost the wallet or their keys, because some of these I look at them like, that hasn't done squat. I haven't heard anything about this. I haven't heard anything about improvements, and yet it's still in the top 100. How the heck does this happen? So I don't know. Maybe Polkadot's one of those ones that'll turn around and do something fantastic, and Dr. Gavin Woods and something financial advice. I don't know. Seattle. I like this one. Do you think Michael Saylor just loading up the dump on us at a certain price point? He says it's like a lad in Manhattan, but he's never going to sell. I do think that he's really never going to sell. God, this will be the worst prediction for me. If Michael Saylor ever does sell, then of course this will be the one clip, but I don't think people really care about what I think at that point. If Michael Saylor sells, I think the market is in for some trouble if he starts to sell, because you got to understand, like, there's no reason for him to sell. Have you ever taken a look at MicroStrategy stock from its beginnings in 1999 to 2024, the only time that it pumped majorly was in the dot-com era. And then for 20 years, it didn't do squat. I mean, it had some peaks and valleys, not anything great. It's pretty much flat until 2020 when it was added to the balance sheet. And now, I mean, you see it just went vertical. And of course, there was an article 3-4 weeks ago where the options were exercised by Michael Saylor, and he sold millions upon millions of his stock, which were stock options. So I'm like, why would you sell Bitcoin if you're Michael Saylor when you're just like, that's for my company. Now people are investing into it, and we're data analytics, but like a proxy. Yeah, I don't see why he would ever sell. He's going to make a lot more money in stock options. And of course, there is no second best, right? Yes, of course. What? That can't be true. Regarding the Starbucks program, climate activists protested the NFT program and Starbucks caved. That'd be dumb. Because if it was the NFT program, it wasn't built on Bitcoin. It wasn't a proof of work where they could make some type of case, even though it's wrong. I think it was Polygon. It's proof of stake, so I don't see the problem there. What a bunch of morons if that's the case. No, morons, just ignorant. They don't have the information. That's okay. I can be ignorant too. Yeah, exactly. There's no need to sell. You got all the money you'll ever need. Yeah, why wouldn't you dump your stock? Like, well, the stock's doing pretty good, but I think Bitcoin's going to do better in the long run. And that's another thing. This is the big thing too. Like for you, I don't know if you're a billionaire. You might be. But if you're not, and you've got any kind of bills, especially like high interest rate credit cards, or if you would like to set things aside for in case something happens, like, I don't know, heart attacks, something cancer, you want to set things aside for yourself so you can actually make sure that you have everything covered. And don't think that your insurance is going to do it. Trust me, I worked in the healthcare field for almost 2 decades. It's not like it's like the insurance is the end all be all. Regardless, maybe it's a good idea to have a emergency fund of 6 months or more. Maybe it's important to pay off all your debts as far as high interest rates. Maybe it's important to have things in reserves and not just have everything into Bitcoin, like say a Michael Saylor, who I'm pretty sure owns his house and his cars and his boats and everything else, which is nothing wrong with that. American dream. Good for him. Did great. I'm just saying, I'm not a billionaire, and that's why I paid off all my bills first. Demanja, do you see Link as a good investment? Yeah, why not? Looks to be, like some people say, well, it's an oracle and pulling out the outside data into the blockchain, which can't do too well. But as people have pointed out to me, much smarter people, it's almost like a layer 0. People are building on top of it. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So yeah, sure. I don't think we've seen a high for much of anything. I mean, again, remember, we're not even at the halving yet. Wait till that narrative takes off, and it will. I am scared. I am scared too, John. I am scared too, because I'm scared that I have this plan in place, and I think I know when I want to sell, and I have things in order, and hopefully I can pull the trigger like I told everybody that I would, and of course, promised my wife this time, like, hey, I'm going to sell more, I swear to God, and not do a round trip. I'm like 95% sure I can do it this time. We'll see. What you think about XRP? I think it's a great stable coin. Just kidding. I think it's great, and it's got regulatory clarity. I think for anybody that deserves a moon bag, which would be the XRP holders. If anybody's gotten kicked in the face enough, it'd be Ripple and XRP. Hope you guys get to that promised land of that 589 or $1, whichever one comes first. Probably $1. A says, set automatic sell orders, just forget about it. You can do that, but then the thing is you got to leave your crypto on the exchanges, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I will wake up, look at the exchanges and go, oh, look at that. I went over 100,000 for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the Ethereum Greed Index. Let's take a look at the MVRV Z-score. let's take a look at the POIL multiple. Let's take a look at the pi cycle top. Let's take a look at the time and risk bands and just kind of extrapolate to see where we're at in the cycle. Time to sell, you know? So yeah. Rusty Bot says it right. Pi cycle tops indicators are still apart. That's my indicator. Yeah. And you can find that on lookintobitcoin.com, 100% free. Yeah, you can DCA with Jupiter, but there's a catch. And the catch is you have to stick your Solana or whatever you're using into your hot wallet. And if that hot wallet is Titus or it's Phantom, you have to have those funds there to DCA. You can't just go DCA it out of my bank. Can't do it. So you got to upload, which means you have to hold what? You have to hold your crypto in a hot wallet. I'm not a fan of that either. I'm not a fan of hot wallets, but they're a necessary evil. They just are. Hey, Marky's here. This will all pass. They always scare people to get more of themselves. Yeah, that's true. Very true, actually. Thoughts on Gala? Spider Tanks is a great game and pretty fun. Hopefully it does better this, even better than the last bull market, which did great. And then on top of that, DCA with Jupiter. Yeah, you can also do limit orders too over there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And what's great about Jupiter also is that you don't have to DCA like every day or every week. You can do it every minute, every 30 minutes. You can set up whatever you want it to be. It's pretty interesting how they do that. Can't do that. That's one thing you can't do on a centralized exchange, that's for sure. Where is Jarky? That's true. I think we will not be in the bull run until Bajarki comes back. If you guys don't know Bajarki, he was a great person. He would always come in, very positive person, and he would always give away Dan memberships, which is pretty cool. But he's been absent for a while. David says, does anyone know if Coinbase is down again? Do we hit an all-time high? Usually does pretty well until it has a bunch of volume. For some reason, just can't fix that after 4 years. It's a good one. If Elon chooses to pump Doge again. If that happens, well, last week there was a video where they asked him if he's going to accept Dogecoin. He said, yeah, at some point we're going to re-accept Dogecoin. So we'll see. I think Dogecoin went up like 5% that day. But anyhow, everybody, that's it for today. We're almost coming up an hour. So like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Again, if you're in the Puerto Rico area, see over at the San Juan Smokehouse. Tell you some insider information I have. Just kidding. Or maybe I'm not. But that's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your day.